Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's exactly 3 p.m. Cairo local time. Time to have our panorama news, our comprehensive news bulletin. My name is Nermeen Abdurrahman, and I have all the pleasure to have with me my dear colleague Ahmed Nader. Hello, Ahmed.
Hello, Nermeen. The pleasure is all mine. We will be starting straight away with the main headlines from the world of politics. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. The details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Friday said that the ongoing developments across Egyptian borders makes it important for all of us to be vigilant and on high levels of understanding, awareness and readiness. The head of the state, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, made the remark as he made a dawn inspection tour at the military academy. The head of the state performed the dawn prayers with the academy cadets before inspecting their morning fitness line. President al-Sisi urged high performance of the students and called on them to be dedicated to their exercises and to be aware of their surrounding domestic, regional and international developments.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and the Expatriates, Badr Abdulati, discussed with the Guinea-Bissau's Minister of Foreign Affairs international cooperation and the community's means of upgrading the bilateral relations between Egypt and Guinea-Bissau. The discussion was made over a phone call. The two ministers also exchanged the views over regional issues, the promotion of the African Joint Action, as well as the support to the developmental efforts across the continent and to the economic integration efforts. Over another call he made with the counterpart from Congo-Brazzaville, Jean-Claude Gakoso, Foreign Minister Abdulati said that Egypt was ready to offer technical expertise and contribution in developmental projects in the Congo-Brazzaville. Abdulati confirmed the Egyptian keenness on enhancing the joint African work and pushing forward the developmental process in the continent. Both ministers also exchanged the visions toward the latest regional developments, asserting the necessity of coordinating efforts to achieve peace and security in Africa.
The death toll from Israeli occupation military strikes included 8 Palestinians martyred in House in Jubilee, the largest of Gaza's 8 historic refugee camps. 9 others, including a father and his 3 children, were also martyred in 2 airstrikes on 2 houses in central Gaza. Meanwhile, dozens of people arrived at the hospital of Deir el-Balah in central Gaza to mourn their dead relatives. Gaza's health ministry said more than 46,000 Palestinians have been martyred and 109,378 wounded in the Israeli genocide war in Gaza, mostly women, children and minors.
The U.S. President Joe Biden told the reporters at the White House that the U.S. and the Arab mediators are making some real progress in the efforts to reach a ceasefire accord between Israel and the Palestinians to put an end to the 15-month war in Gaza. Biden said that he is still hopeful that they will be able to have a prisoner exchange, adding that he met with the negotiators on Thursday. On Thursday, a Palestinian official close to the mediation effort said that the absence of a deal so far did not mean that the talks were going nowhere and that this was the most serious attempt so far. Another Palestinian official confirmed the progress that he had made during the talks, but cited a new Israeli condition that could undermine reaching a deal.
Meanwhile, and on the ground, the director of Medical Relief Society in the Gaza Strip, Bassam Zakout, said international mechanisms were unable to provide protection for the civilians in Gaza against the Israeli aggression. He added that most of the countries remain silent over the systematic Israeli violations of humanitarian laws that should have been enacted to protect people. Zakout added that aid that enter the Gaza Strip is sufficient for only 10% of the needs of its people who are surviving the Israeli onslaught, warning that Palestinians are facing tragic conditions on all levels. In a related development, a study published on Thursday said the official Palestinian tally of direct deaths in the Israeli genocide war likely undercounted the number of casualties by 41% through the middle of 2024 as the Gaza Strip's healthcare infrastructure unraveled.
The Israeli occupation army said that it identified a hostage who was found killed in the Gaza Strip days after it was recovered. It said that the killed was the son of another hostage found dead in an underground tunnel on Wednesday. The occupation army added that the family of the Israeli had been notified of his death following the conclusion of the forensic tests.
Lebanese caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati said on Friday that the state will begin disarming southern Lebanon, particularly the South Litani region, to establish its presence across the country. He added that they are in a new phase. They will start with South Lebanon and South Litani, especially in order to pull weapons so that the state can be present across Lebanese territory.
Meanwhile, the U.S. President Joe Biden welcomed the election of Joseph Aoun as the Lebanese president, saying in a statement that the army chief was the right leader for the country. He added that President Aoun has his confidence, saying that Aoun would provide critical leadership in overseeing an Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire. Aoun's election by the Lebanese lawmakers ended a more than two-year vacancy and could mark a step towards lifting the country out of the financial meltdown. Aoun, who turned 61 on Friday, took the oath of the office at the parliament.
The European Union could begin lifting sanctions on Syria if the country's new authorities take steps to form an inclusive government that protects minorities. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said that the bloc could gradually ease sanctions provided there is tangible progress a day after a meeting of Western powers in Rome.
Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan said that the new Syrian administration should be given an opportunity to address the presence of the Kurdish militants in the country, but reiterated that Ankara would act against them otherwise. Speaking at a press conference in Istanbul, Fidan said it was wrong to classify the Turkish battle against the Kurdish militants as a battle against the Kurds, adding that Ankara was now evaluating its presence in Syria in light of the new situation there.
Ukraine's Air Force said on Friday Russia attacked it with 72 drones overnight, though it downed 33 of them while 34 others disappeared from radar without reaching their targets. The Air Force said 5 drones struck various buildings in the northern region of Chernihiv, wounding 1 person. One downed drone fell on a building in the capital Kiev but did not cause casualties. Massive Russian aerial attacks using long-range drones have been a near daily occurrence over Ukraine in the past several months.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said that the Russian leader Vladimir Putin wanted to meet and that a rendezvous between the pair was being arranged. He made the statement just a week and a half before taking office, following promises during his campaign to bring peace to Ukraine, which has been under the Russian military operation since 2022. Trump has never made any concrete proposals for a ceasefire or a peace deal and has often criticized the large amount of military aid the United States has sent to Kyiv. In addition to criticizing the massive military aid sent to Ukraine under President Joe Biden, Trump had raised doubts over the continued U.S. involvement in the Western military alliance, the NATO. The United States under Biden has been Ukraine's biggest wartime backer, providing military aid worth more than $65 billion since February of 2022.
And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held talks in Rome with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni after meeting other allies in Germany. Meloni reiterated the all-around support that Italy ensures and will continue to provide to the legitimate defense of Ukraine to put Kyiv in the best possible condition to build a just and lasting peace. She also expressed solidarity for the victims of the recent Russian bombings as the Ukrainian war nears the 3-year mark. Iraq. Zelensky had earlier Thursday joined a meeting of about 50 allies at the U.S. airbase Ramstein in Germany, the last such gathering before Trump takes office on January 20.
Massive wildfires that engulfed whole neighborhoods and displaced thousands in Los Angeles raged out of control as the California National Guard soldiers ready to hit the streets to help quell the disorder. Swaths of the United States' second-largest city lay in ruins, with the smoke blanketing the sky with an acrid smell pervading almost every building. A vast firefighting operation continued for the third day, bolstered by the water-dropping helicopters thanks to a temporary lull in winds, but the new fires continued to spring up. U.S. President Joe Biden told the White House briefing he had pledged extra federal funds and resources to help the state cope. Nearly 180,000 people across Los Angeles remain under evacuation orders, and at least 5 deaths have been reported in connection to the fires.
The United Nations said that global economic growth is projected to remain at 2.8% in 2025, unchanged from 2024, held back by the top two economies, the United States and China. The World Economic Situation and Prospects report said positive but somewhat slower growth forecasts for China and the United States will be complemented by modest recoveries in the European Union, Japan and Britain, and robust performance in some large developing economies, notably India and Indonesia. The report added that U.S. growth was expected to moderate from 2.8% last year to 1.9% in 2025 as the labor market softens and consumer spending slows.
Oil prices settled up more than 1% as the cold weather gripped parts of the U.S. and Europe, boosting winter fuel demand. Brent crude futures was up 1.2% to $77.81 a barrel, while the European natural gas prices fell 2.9%, set for a near 9% fall this week. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were also up 0.82% to $73.92 per barrel. This brings us to the end of Panorama News, Nirmeen.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. You were in the company of my dear colleague Ahmed Nader and myself, Nirmeen Abdurrahman. Stay tuned only on Nile TV International, always for more.